Well, all right, family. So we want to say welcome. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? And Mishpachah, we got some pretty interesting things we're going to go over tonight as we get into this. It is just about the 9 o'clock hour, and just after 9 o'clock, about 9:14 on a Monday night. And so whenever you pick this up, whether you pick it up on a Tuesday morning or sometime during the night, it's okay. It is all right. We want to say thank you for hanging out with us, and it's gonna be pretty great. I ran across some things today, and I wanted to get more into those things, and I think that we're going to be going down a road that's quite interesting for some of you. Now, I don't know if you have checked out Ezra or anything like that, but I've been running down this road chasing the Sabbaths, right? So since I've been running down this road chasing the Sabbaths, then my side studies have increased. So as I'm looking for the Sabbaths and I'm chasing down the moons and listening to various teachers and studying out, I found myself over in Enoch and Ezra. I'm in the Maccabees. I'm everywhere chasing down these Sabbaths. So as I am doing so, certain things catch my attention, and I end up going off onto a side study. So as we talk about that, first let me say welcome to my Hebrew family, my Obarabani family. I want to let you know that, first of all, as we move into this, you might see that we might use some other information that we will put up for you, and it is fair use as long as we use portions of it to for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, parody. We're not making fun of anything. We're not infringing on anyone's copyrights. We're not doing this for money. We're not doing this for fame. And we simply just want to use it for educational and teaching purposes, and we just want to come forward and use this to edify our people. So we might use some portions of a videotape, maybe a movie, some certain video discs or something like that, but we just may as we move forward. And I just really want to let you guys know that we are not doing this for any type of monetary gain. So I'm not out to infringe on anyone's copyrights, but I want to say thank you and welcome to the family. You guys are hanging out with me quite often, and I just want to say thank you for that. Now, before I move any further, I have to tell you that I've recently just gotten a beard oil. Someone sent me a beard oil, so I have to say thank you to that person for sending me a beard oil. Now, it's not that someone sends you a beard oil, but, I just want to say thank you to this person who knew that I was growing my beard and that I was in need of a beard oil. And so this was sent to me, and I really laughed because there's a baby's face with a full beard on it. I thought it was kind of cute. I just cracked up laughing when I saw it, because whoever sees a baby with a full beard, so what it tells me is that's a baby face, right? It's a baby face. If you use this oil, you're going to have, the smoothest skin, and you're going to have a baby face. And so I figured that as I was, kind of laughing at the whole idea of this baby face thing, that I would kind of get in here and kind of stroke the beard a little bit, but I really kind of like it. I trimmed it up last night really good, because I let it grow out till I get to the point of where I have some wild hairs. Like my little dog is a Yorkie wire terrier mix, and so Michael will get these wild wire hairs growing out. So I was looking for those as I took the trimmers, and trimmed off all the wild stuff, so that this morning when I came out of the shower, I could drop the oil in, because it has a dropper on it. It has an eyedropper at the top, and so you can kind of squeeze that top, and I just kind of just ran it along the edge here, and then just combed it in. Then I have a brush as well over here. I have a brush as well, and I'm constantly brushing it. So I'm really thanking my good friend And I love this woman. This woman is the bomb. I'm telling you, brothers, if you got a good woman out there, hang on to her, right? And because those are the women who are going to take care of us, okay? So, this girl knew I needed a beard oil. This woman, I'll say, I don't want to call her a girl because she's a grown woman. She knew I needed a beard oil. And as I was talking to her, and she was like, "Oh, you let your beard grow? Oh, that's so nice." She was like, when did you do?" And we were just talking about it. And she's like, "I got something for you." So she shot it to me real quick. And I thank you. I just really thank you. You're the bomb. You always know you're the bomb. Especially for me. And if I was closer to her, I would marry her because she's the keeping kind, y'all. All right. So anyway, I wanted to say thank you for that, for the beard oil, because she hooked me up. She really did. And it smells good. Everybody who smelled it today really loved it at work. I had to beat them off with a stick. They were like, "Oh my God, what is that?" So I had my regular cologne on, which women love anyway. And then they could smell this oil and they're like, "What is that?" And I'm smelling it too as I'm moving my head around because, the hairs are right here. So I just had to put that plug out there. This is some great stuff. I love it. I don't even know where it comes from, but the mere fact that my sister gave it to me means a lot, that the sisters look out for the brothers, and the brothers, as much as we can, we look out for the sisters. So as a family thing, as a community thing, we're supposed to hook each other up, and she really did hook me up. So tonight, this show, I guess we'll dedicate it to Savvy Pro Clean. We'll dedicate this show to Savvy Pro Clean because it was Savvy Pro Clean that hooked me up and got me nice and clean here. So we'll say thank you, Savvy, for hooking us up. We appreciate that. All right. So as we move forward, and she doesn't even know about the shameless plug that I just gave her, but Savvy Pro Clean, Oklahoma City, y'all. If you're in Oklahoma and you get the opportunity to see this video, let me tell you that if you need any type of cleaning, professional, residential, or otherwise for your business, whatever, you need to check out Savvy Pro Clean. And when I get her permission, I will put her number out there for you guys to be able to contact her. But you should be able to find her online. She does have a website at Savvy Pro Clean in Oklahoma City. So we're going to move forward. We're going to talk about some things. Look, I was doing some study today. Now, I always have, I don't have them near me, but I normally have an earpiece in my ear when I am at work doing my thing, okay? And when I'm at work and I'm doing my thing, I'm usually listening to, I'm not listening to a lot of music. I'm usually listening to a teaching, or I'm listening to a video that I've done. I'm going back over and I'm checking my notes. Before I might publish it, I'm going to listen to it and see if, I got things correct. And so today I was, like I said, going down my road. I've been tracing the moons and trying to get the Sabbath thing right. And, the Father's been dealing with me. The Most High's been dealing with me in a way that, I can't even tell you this way that he's been dealing with me, because the way that he's always dealt with me has been really straightforward. If I'm looking for something, he puts it right there. If I'm trying to find something, he puts it right there, because he knows that I'm if you seek and you shall find. It's a serious thing. You knock and the door will be opened. You ask and it will be given to you. You just have to do it with the right mind. Because you can't say the heart. The Greek translate the heart, or translate the mind as the heart. You look it up. The Greek translate the mind as the heart. The heart knows nothing. The heart is just a muscle just pumps blood. You don't know anything. I know your number by heart. No, you don't. You know it by your memory. You know it by your mind. Your heart is just a muscle. All it does is pump blood. It doesn't know anything. It can't even tell you anything. And it's your brain that tells your heart to keep pumping. So when your brain shuts down, your heart will stop pumping. And or there's a part of your brain that will shut down to make your heart start pumping, because even after your heart starts pumping, your brain will stay alive for maybe 5 or 7 minutes that you stay up in there. So anyway, I'm not going to go too far off into the scientific madness of that. My mom's a retired nurse, so I can kind of go deep in that one, but I don't want to. I want to stay with what I'm doing right now. Now we're dealing with Ezra and Esdras. So some of you might have the Pseudopitagraphica. If you don't have the Pseudopitagraphica, go to pseudopitagrapha.com, and that's P as in Paul, S as in Sam, UEDEPIGRAPHA.com. Again, that's P as in Paul, S as in Sam, UEDEP as in Peter, IGRAFA.com. Pseudepigrapha.com, and you'll see this page right here. Now, on this page are a lot of books that you will not find in your typical Bibles. You will find that a lot of these books have been taken out. Now, some of these were found among the Dead Sea Scrolls and were found along with the Dead Sea Scrolls in Qumran, up in the caves. Others were come out of the various different caves up around Qumran, but they all were not with the Dead Sea Scrolls. Now, I've had the works of Flavius Josephus for a long time, but here you'll see, let's just give you a quick overview. You've got the Old and New Testament, all right? You got the Book of Mormon in here, which I don't follow. You've got the Doctrine and Covenants. You've got Pearl of Great Price. That's the books of the Latter-day Saints. Then you have historic works, which are the works of Flavius Josephus, Jasher, Legends of the Jews, the story of Ahikar. You've got Pistis Sophia. You've got various, let me get over to my site. I'm having some difficulty watching this from the screen that you're seeing it from. So let me get over here and I will tell you what we see. So then we've got Pistis Sophia. We've got the books of Adam and Eve. We've got list of Adam and Eve. We've got a translation in the Slavic, one in the Greek. We've got the Apocalypse of Adam, the Book of Adam, the second treatise of the Great Seth. We've got Enoch 1, which is the Ethiopic edition. We've got Enoch, which is one that's done by Charles Lawrence. We've got Enoch 2, which is the Slavic. This is the Secrets of Enoch. We've got Enoch, which is just another version. You got Melchizedek, the Book of Abraham, Testament of Abraham, Apocalypse of Abraham, Story of Asenath. You got selections from the Book of Moses, Revelations of Moses, the Assumption of Moses, on and on and on and on and on until we get down to Esdras 1, Esdras 2, Maccabees 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's also a Esdras 3 and 4 apparently. All the other books that are the extra biblical and canonical books that are in the Apocrypha that you have there. And then you've got the New Testament Apocrypha in here. There's a lot of books in here that you can read from, okay? Now, not all of them, I have to tell you, not all of them are going to be scriptural as far as what you would consider a scriptural book, okay? But at the same time, some of them have history that we can lean to, and we can use these books in addition to our regular studies, our traditional studies, in order to give us additional information to help us understand what may have occurred because our Bible have some things cut out of it. And with that, we're going to talk about some of those things that were cut out of our word and I stumbled across this as I was studying. Okay, so as I stumbled across this, I said, I have to show it. I got to tell it. Okay, so you'll see it completely in the Pseudepigraphica. If you go to pseudepigraphica.com, you're gonna see it. I hear some munching behind me. That's Michael eating. I had to see what that was. He likes to get his chomp on about this time of night. I just didn't realize that he was going to be chomping behind me. But anyway, in the Pseudepigraphica, you will see this, all right? So, and that's one of the things that we're going to kind of go over tonight, all right? So, in order to do this, let me tell you that you can find this video. If you're looking for these videos, you can find them on our HIL channel, which is our Hebrew Israelite channel. At YouTube, you will see it there, Hebrew Israelite Lake County. Also, don't forget to patronize my brother Kenyon Ashira over at Pilgrimage to Zion on his YouTube channel. If you are, I see he liked the video, but if you are looking to make your pilgrimage and make your way over to Zion, contact him. Make sure you do. And you also look at Hashua Amariel's channel. I was trying to bring it up here, but it's not like it's coming up. We're going to be working tonight out of our e-sword. Okay, so if you have your e-sword, get your e-sword up so we can get busy. And oops, I'm moving this around. Didn't mean to move it around. I want to just roll it up. Okay, so let's just get ready to get busy with our e-swords, and we'll go ahead and we'll dig on into this. Okay, so how about we just do that, And I am going to let me get this back to the top, because I was looking at some things, and I have some notes here for myself that I wanted to cover with you also. So we're gonna be in 2nd Esdras 7. Okay, so that's where I want you guys to kind of get to with me. 2nd Esdras 7. Now in the eSwords, as you can look over here, you see I have the Apocrypha down the far left side, and let's see here. There we go. I have the Apocrypha down the far left side, and of course I have my notes there on the right. And there were some things that before I was going to just do it from the eSword, and I was giving myself some notes. And then I decided, you know what? I might as well go ahead and just get it all in here, because what happened was I was trying to get the Pseudepigraphica up on the screen, and it would not come up in a way in which you could read along with me as I was reading this and trying to explain what I'm looking at. So I ended up having to copy it into my journal, because that's what my journal is for, in eSword. That's how all of this got started. I just used to journal stuff and then post it and talk about it. But we have a few different things we're going to be going over tonight, so we're just going to do it like this, and we had it in the eSword. And so so you want to get to 2nd Esdras 7:1. And when you're there, I'm just kind of filling up space until you guys all catch up with me. If you have your eSword, or if you've got your Apocrypha, or if you've got your scriptures, or if you have them both, because we're going to be looking at them both. So we're going to be looking at the traditional Ezra, which is traditional Esdras, which is our Apocrypha. And then we're going to be looking at what we have in the Pseudepigraphica. Okay, we're going to be looking at the two and comparing the two, because we want to see what is actually in either one of them. And I can tell you that if we completely trust what Roman Catholicism has given us, then we're going to be completely booty out to the wind, because they have given us absolutely nothing. They have chopped the word up. They have cut it up in a way as to where if you're not watching, you'll find that you're getting milk instead of meat. Okay, and that's one of the reasons why I had to come in here to do this video like this, is because we want to be able to see where the meat is. I want the meat. Give me the steak. I don't want your milk. Okay, and if you're we have to understand that our scriptures, we had scrolls. We never had books. We had scrolls. So they took our scriptures, and their scribes transliterated what was in our scrolls, copied them basically, put them into books, and then turned around and handed it back to us as if it was theirs. Here is your God now, okay? But they kept certain things out because they did not want us to know what really was going on. And as I moved through this today, it really kind of broke my heart. So I am... Okay, so I got to look at my little guy. I don't know what he was looking at. Looked like he was about to get sick there, but he just finished eating. I don't know what the situation is, but we'll find out. If I have to jet away for a moment, I got to get him so I can put him outside, but I think he's okay. He got a new little rabbit today, so he might be thinking about pouncing on his rabbit the way he's standing there, but nevertheless, so we're at 2nd Esdras is where we're going to go, okay? So let's get there first. 2nd Esdras, and again, I'm flying by the seat of my pants, and let's do this, okay? Let's do this. So Ezra is having a conversation with a messenger from the Most High. And he's asking questions and being given answers, okay? And he's being shown some different things. And so he says in verse 1, he says, "And when I made an end of speaking these words, there was sent to me an angel which had been sent unto me the nights afore or before. And he said unto me, Up, Esdras, or get up, and hear the words that I come to tell thee." Okay, so Esdras is about to enter into this conversation and be shown some things by this particular individual. Okay, so and then we see in 21, for God has given straight commandment to such as came what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. Now we're going to talk about that, right? We're going to cover kind of a little bit of this ground here, right? And then we're going to look at, for while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer it after death. Okay. And then he, let me see. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle which man is born upon earth shall fight, that if he overcome, he shall suffer, as thou hast said, but if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say. For this is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived, saying, choose thee life that thou might live. Okay, so these are some areas that we're going to cover. And I'm covering this for a reason. And as we get to these particular areas that I'm going to cover, we'll talk about, those things. As a matter of fact, let me I'm going to get myself in here because I want to also talk to you as we move through this. Okay, so just let me get me in here real fast. There we go. And where do I want to be? I think I want to be over here somewhere. Yeah, I want to be over here. But I'm going to shrink myself because I don't want to be in the way of the scripture when it goes off. Okay, so let me do this. Maybe I'll go up top. Maybe I'll go up here in the corner. Yeah, let's go up here. This way I can keep me out of the way. How about that? That work for you guys? Okay, that works for me. All right, because I can still talk to you as we move through this. Okay, because this is kind of serious for me. I saw some things in here that, like I said, it broke my heart today. And I was at work, and I'm a pricing manager for a big box store. Okay, so I was changing some prices and things like that, and I had this thing going in my ear, had an earpiece in, and I'm listening to it, and I was working on some different shelves. Like I told you before, like when I had the dream the other night that I had to put these jump drives up on a pegboard, and I had to make it available to Israel. The Father uses things in your physical world to help you understand what it is that you need to do, right? So I kept saying, well, I don't understand. He was like, you have to load these drives and make it available to Israel. And what that said to me was I needed to come in here and make this video, and then do it and put it out there, make it available to you. So I had to load the drive, right, with the information. Here's the information. I had to load the drive. There's the hard drive. I had to load it up and then put the information out there for you guys to get it. So I was like, okay, all right, that makes sense to me. Then let's do it. So I got up. I had a dream, and the dream woke me up, and I went to get up, and then I had a leg cramp that put me right back on the bed. It was like, so I couldn't get up immediately. You know how the enemy is. He wanted to fight me back down. So I said, okay, let me lay here and relax for a while, and I'll ease myself off this bed when my leg relaxes, and I'll come on in here and do the video. And so that's exactly what happened. So it took me a while longer, and then after I got it done, then the system wanted to play funky and not upload correctly, so it was still taking its time, but I still got it uploaded. But that's kind of like what we're dealing with here, and we'll talk about that, okay? So first of all, Ezra is having this conversation. So let's just read through this and see what the conversation is that Ezra is having. Okay. And so in 1, he said, when I have finished speaking these words, I'm gonna do this first of all. So when I have finished speaking these words, there we go. When I finished speaking these words, the angel who had been sent to me on the former nights was sent to me again. Let me make sure I'm still in this mix because okay, there I am. All right, so I really want to be out of the way. So give me just a second to move this up. I want to move this up. I don't want to be in the way at all. So let me get up here. Okay. So I want to keep this page as full as possible. All right, so when I have finished speaking these words, the angel who had been sent to me on the former nights was sent to me again. And he said to me, rise, Ezra, and listen to the words that I have come to speak to you. And I said, speak, my Lord. And he said to me, this is the sea set in a wide expanse, so that it is broad and vast. Oh, there there is a sea, set in a wide expanse, so that it is broad and vast. But it has an entrance set in a narrow place, so that it is like a river. So the sea is wide, okay? But to get onto the sea, there's like a river. You got to get onto it, okay? A narrow place, right? And if anyone then wishes to reach the sea, to look for it, or to navigate it, how can he come to the broad part unless he passes through the narrow part? Another example, there's a city built and set on a plain and is full of all good things, but the entrance to it is narrow and set on a precipitous place, so that there is fire on the right hand and deep water on the left. So here's a city that you want to go to, okay? And there's a narrow way to get to the city because on one side there's fire, okay? And on the other side there's deep water. So you have to take your chances going through this narrow area, okay? Because there's fire on this side. Now, I used to be a firefighter, and I can tell you when you're this close to fire, you can feel the heat. Fire is hot, okay? And you've got deep water on the other side. So you're going to take a chance going through there. You're going to burn, or you can fall off and drown, okay, if you don't know how to swim. Or you might find a way to dump some water on yourself to keep yourself cool as you're making your way. But it's not going to be easy getting to this city with all the goodies in it. You've got to go through this narrow, arduous, hard way to get there, okay? And he's saying this for a reason, okay? Because this life is like this. In order for us to get to where we have to go on the other side of this life, we have to go through this life, and this life is not an easy life. We have a lot of temptation being thrown at us. We have a lot of things being thrown at us in order for us to make it through this. And as I was reading this, I saw some things, and it was just like, are you kidding me? Because this is real. I mean, it's stuff that we should already know, but we go through this life like, hunky-dory. But we can't go through this like hunky-dory. We got to be serious about this because this could cost us our soul. All right. So let me go on here. Okay. All right. So 8, and there is only one path lying between them, that is between the fire and the water, so that only one man can walk upon the path. So 2 people can't pass each other on this, right? If somebody's coming this way and somebody's going that way, somebody's going to have to back up. Have you been on a street like that? I've been on some dirt roads like that, where it's on the side of a mountain and the road is so narrow there's only one car. If somebody lives on the top and they're coming down and you're trying to go up, somebody's going to have to back up till you find a place in the road that's wide enough for them to pull over a little bit so the other guy can go by. And then he's got to be really careful going by because he could lose 2 wheels on one side. And those of you who live up here, we were looking at the Hopland grade not too long ago, and then we just see a truck go over the edge because this man did not gauge the corner correctly. When we have signs that said, listen, because the corner is such a tight corner like this, that your truck is straight and your wheels aren't going to turn, right? So the front of your truck might be already around the corner, but the back of your truck is not, and your back wheels don't turn. So if you mess up, you're going over that curve, because the curve is like this and your truck is straight. And so as you come around the curve, only the front side of your truck is going to make it over here. This is not going to turn. So guess what? You're down the hill. And is that not what happened to this guy, y'all? You guys who saw the video, who live up here? They tell these truckers all the time, if you can't fit through here, don't go up this grade. Because they have a place where you can check to see how long your truck is. Right? And they've also got a spot for you to turn around and go back down the hill. But then there's people, because we got them, who just insist on trying to make it through. And we just recently saw some guy lose his cookies and go over the edge. And I don't know how far down it is, but I know it's down far enough to snatch you and your Kenworth down there, and you just be lucky if you live. Okay? So This is a narrow, arduous path, not easy in 8, right? So only one man can walk on it, so 9. If now that city is given to a man for an inheritance, how will the heir receive his inheritance unless he passes through the danger that is set before him? If that's his city that he's going to inherit, his father's leaving him, he's got to go through that way to get there. He don't have a choice. If he's going to go get his inheritance, he's got to go through there to get it, right? And this is Ezra talking, I said, he cannot, Lord. And he said to me, so is Israel's portion. Okay, did you hear me? So also is Israel's portion. In other words, this is what is set aside for Israel. Okay, this is just like what Israel's going to get. Israel's the heir. That's the city. You've got to go through here if you want to get it, Israel. Okay, I want you to understand what's being said here. Ezra is being spoken to about Israel. Okay, he's not talking about nobody else in the world. He's not talking about no other people group. He's only talking about Israel, that city. Okay, in other words, what's set aside for Israel is the world on the other side. Okay, and Israel has to go through here to get it. That's what this is talking about right here. All right, for I made the world for their sake. There it is. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, what had been made was judged. Okay, now the father is telling Ezra that he made the world for Israel. Now, I don't want anybody to get mad. I didn't write this. Okay, so for Caucasians who are out there listening, for Armenians who are listening, for Hispanics who are listening, he said he made this world for Israel's sake. Okay, he didn't make it for nobody else but Israel. Okay, he said that I made this world for their sake. And when Adam, who Israel was supposed to come through, transgressed my statutes, what had been made was judged. The moment that Adam sinned, judgment had to drop. Adam, you got to put some clothes on because now you know you're naked, and now you got to get out the garden. Okay, I got to set a cherub right here, so you don't come back in here, because if you reach out and take part of the tree of life, you're going to have this knowledge, and then you're going to end up living forever, and this is not what I created you for, so I got to remove you. So judgment happened, okay? And so the interests of this world were made narrow and sorrowful and toilsome. They are few and evil. Okay, listen, the entrances into this world were made narrow and sorrowful and toilsome. They are few and evil, full of dangers and involved in great hardships. All right, think about how many entrances there are in this world. Okay, coming through the birth canal is very traumatic, not only for the mother, but for the baby. Okay, and it's hard. Babies have to work to get here, and the mama got to work to get the baby here. Okay, all right. You mothers know what I'm talking about. All right, now check it out. I was in the room when my son was born, and it was the most beautiful thing I ever saw. But they both had to work, and when he got here, the doctor, who wants him? I was like, hand him here, give him here. And I picked him up and I said, hey, Daddy, because I had been talking to him, through the stomach for 9 months. When I picked him up and said, hey, Daddy, I got you, man, it's okay, I got you. And he said, yeah. And he opened his eyes and looked at me and went right to sleep, because he knew I had him. Right, he recognized my voice. I'm here, Papa. I'm here. I'm here now. You got me? Okay, I'm good. So anyway, so the interests of this world, 12, were made narrow and sorrowful and toilsome, for they are few and evil, full of dangers and involved in great hardships. 13, but the interests of the greater world are broad and safe, and really yield the fruit of immortality. Okay, so the greater world, which is the world thereafter. Okay, we're talking about what comes after this one, right? To get there is once those interests are broad and safe, and they yield immortality, right? So once you pass through this arduous thing, then your glory is on the other side. See, you have to go cross that little bridge, and fire's on this side, deep water's on this side, right? But once you get past it, then everything opens up. Okay. And as you make your way toward the city, it's broad, it's wide, it's safe. There's no more danger, because you've already crossed over the dangerous part. Now just go on in, because everything before you is immortality, right? So therefore, unless the living pass through the difficult and vain experiences, they can never receive those things that have been reserved for them. Unless the living, what living? Israel. That's what he says right there. He said it right there. I made the world for their sake. So is Israel's portion. In 10 and 11. This is, you can't get there. This is Israel's portion. Who's it for? It's for Israel. So Israel has to pass through. That's who the living he's talking about, right? 15. But now, why are you disturbed, seeing that you are to perish? Okay, he's looking at Ezra's face, and Ezra probably has this look on his face. And he goes, Ezra, now why are you disturbed? Because now you know you gotta perish. And why are you moved, seeing that you're immortal? You know, what's the problem? You got a problem with being mortal? You know, you got to go from mortality to immortality. We've been taught that for a long time. I mean, they even taught me that over there, right? But they never taught me this. Okay, so but we're gonna go through this. Okay, all right. So 16. Why have you not considered in your mind what is to come, rather than what is now present? Why haven't you thought about this before? 17. Then I answered him, saying, O sovereign Lord, behold, thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous shall inherit these things, but that the ungodly shall perish. 18. The righteous therefore can endure difficult circumstances, while hoping for easier ones. But those who have done wickedly have suffered the difficult circumstances and will not see the easier ones. And he said to me, you're not a better judge than God, or wiser than the Most High. Let many perish who are now living, rather than the law of God which is set before them be disregarded. For God strictly commanded those who came into this world when they came what they should do to live, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. Nevertheless, they were not obedient and spoke against him. They devised for themselves vain thoughts and proposed to themselves wicked frauds. They even declared that the Most High does not exist, and they ignored his ways. Now, did you hear what I just said? Did you hear what I just read? Okay. Now, I want you to pay attention to this. All right. Let me read that again. Okay. He said in 21. That God strictly commanded those who came into this world, okay, when they came, what they should do to live and what they should observe to avoid punishment. Now, let me say it again in case that didn't sink in. I'm going to say it like this, that before you were born, the Father told you before you came into the body that your mother and daddy had prepared for you, that your mother had cooking up in her little kitchen womb. Before you got in it, the Father told you before you got in it that when you came, what you should do to live and what you should do to avoid punishment. Okay, this is what the angel just told Ezra. I didn't write this. Okay, I did not write this. Okay. And I was just telling someone, we were having this conversation, I was talking to my baby sister, and I think I've said this to you guys before as well, that you can't choose your family, right? And that you might have different individuals in your family, and you find that you are connected by blood, but that's a completely different spirit over there, an evil, wicked, maniacal, demonic spirit that might be your brother, your mother, your daddy, okay? You're connected by family. And everybody gets told the same thing coming through here. But your personality is your personality. You are who you are. So you might come here with an understanding of the Father. You might come here, and not knowing why you worship where you worship. And then your brother might be told the same thing, born into this existence, and he's as hateful and wicked as all get out, right? Because he don't care. That's why when you look at it, the Father said, Jacob I love and Esau I hated. They were brothers. They had the same family, but they had two different spirits. Two completely different spirits. Okay? Jacob, he loved, and Esau, he hated. Esau had a different, and when you read these extra biblical stories about Esau, people didn't like Esau. People didn't like him. He dealt treacherously with folks. They didn't like him. He was not a good guy, and folks did not like him. Okay, and that's what I got out of reading about Esau. So you check out some of these extra biblical books and you see if anybody liked them. We're going to move on. I'm going to try to push through this, right? Okay, so he said that when they came through, he strictly commanded those who came into the world that when they came, what they should do to live and what they should do to avoid punishment. Nevertheless, they were not obedient and spoke against him. They devised for themselves vain thoughts and proposed to themselves wicked frauds. They even declared that the Most High did not exist, and they ignored his ways. The people right here, right now, who claim that the Most High don't exist. They scorned his law and denied his covenants. They have been unfaithful to his statutes and have not performed his works. Therefore, Ezra, empty things are for empty, and full things are for full. And I was telling my sister this. Now, see, we have a bunch of people who have been taught by churchianity that the law you don't have to live by the law. If you live by the law, you're going to be judged by the law. But what does it say right here? He said you had to live by his law. They scorned his law, denied his covenants, and have been unfaithful to his statutes. They even said he don't exist. Okay? So he's telling Ezra that he said, first of all, we've all read in the word where he said that I am the Lord, I change not. Okay? So I'm the same yesterday, today, and forever. Right? So if I'm the same yesterday, today, and forever, that means that my covenants and my statutes are the same yesterday, today, and forever. Listen, during the time of Yahushua, when he was walking the earth, there was no New Testament. He said, I didn't come to abolish the law. I came to fulfill the law. So during that time, the law was still in effect. He was still keeping the law by going to Shabbat, to going to synagogue on Shabbat. That's keeping the law. It was the law. It's the law, the law, the law, the law. He had to go to Shabbat. It's the law. There was things as a Hebrew he had to do. It's the law. He had to keep the law. And listen, when Lazarus died and he ended up in Abraham's bosom, the rich man said, look, send Lazarus out there to go tell my brothers not to come here. And he says, listen, they got the law and the prophets. If they won't listen to the law and the prophets, why would they listen to a man who come back from the dead? Okay, that's in your New Testament. So you can have your Paul theology all you want to. Paul himself was teaching the law because he had to shave his head as a vow of the Nazarene. When he got back to Jerusalem, they was like, look at here, man, there's some devout Jews in here, and they are very zealous of the law. This is in the New Testament. They are very zealous of the law. The law wasn't done away with. So these men, they are brother, let me tell you something. You go in there and shave your head and take this vow of these Nazarenes, so when they see you and they catch you, that they'll understand that you are not out here teaching things the way people say you are. You are about the law. Because they said that Paul was out here telling people they didn't have to get circumcised and all that stuff. No, that's not what was happening. He was still teaching the law. But those Hellenistic Jews, or those Hebrews who had lived among the Greeks for so long, they started picking up those Gentile ways and living as Gentiles. They had to be brought back to the ways of their fathers. Okay, some of them were born in captivity outside of Jerusalem. They had been born in Greece. Like Paul said, I was born in Rome. I'm Paul of Tarsus. I'm a Roman. He wasn't born in Jerusalem. That's why he had the ways that he had. He understood the scriptures because he studied at the foot of Gamaliel. But he was very legalistic. And he had Gentile ways. Okay? There's people in Israel right now who claim to be Jews, but they eating pork. They got pig farms all over the place. Okay? So they're Gentile in their ways. They're walking like Gentiles. All right? So now listen. Therefore, Ezra, empty things are for the empty, and full things are for the full. For behold, the time will come when the signs which I have foretold you will come to pass, and the city which is now, and that the city which now is not seen shall appear, and the land which now is hidden shall be disclosed. And every one who has been delivered from the evils that I have foretold shall see my wonders. For my son, the Messiah, shall be revealed with those who are with him, and those shall remain, and those who remain shall rejoice 400 years. After these years, my son, the Messiah, shall die, and all who draw human breath. Okay, so everybody's going to die. He's like, the whole planet's going to be wiped out. There's not going to be anybody on it. And check this out. And the world shall be turned back to primeval silence for 7 days. Now, I was having a discussion with my sister, and we say that 1,000 years with man is a day with the Lord, right? So he's saying 7 days. What was that, 7,000 years? Okay, as it was at the first beginnings, not beginnings, right? There's two beginnings, okay? That between verse 1 and verse 2, there's a situation that occurred between verse 1 and verse 2 in Genesis, right? The Father created the earth, and then the next verse says it was tuhu va'uhu, right? It was null and void. He's a creator. He doesn't create something that's not there. Right? He doesn't create. In the beginning, the Father created the heaven and the earth, but it was null and void. That means it was nothing. You don't create something that's nothing, right? Something happened, right? And you got to get into your scriptures to find out what happened between those two verses. And I can tell you that was the war in heaven. That's when the earth got decimated. And some people say that's when Tiamat hit the planet and everything busted up. Whatever happened, right? The earth got decimated and it was remade again. It was remade again. That's why Adam and Eve were told to have dominion and replenish. Replenish. Replenish means what? Put back what was already there. Okay, so but we're not going into that. Okay, so we're talking about the beginning, so that no one shall be left. And after 7 days, the world which is not yet awake shall be aroused, and that which is corruptible shall perish. Okay, so there'll be no more physical flesh. Okay, now everything's going to be remade in a place where it will not be corrupt, because it's not corruptible. So carbon is not going to be there, right? It won't be physical anymore, right? And the earth shall give up those who are asleep in it, and the dust of those who dwell silently in it. And the chambers shall give up the souls which have been committed to them. Chambers is a very interesting study, but we're not going to get into that. We might touch it a little bit. We're not going to get into the chambers, okay? I wrote a song years ago, had no idea what I was talking about when I wrote a song called Inner Chambers, okay? So some of you might know the song I'm talking about, but I had no idea what I was talking about. But it makes me want to re-record it now and really give it up, because I know what it is now. And the Most High shall be revealed upon the seat of judgment, and compassion shall pass away, and patience shall be withdrawn, but only judgment shall remain, truth shall stand, and faithfulness shall grow up strong. Right, now listen, the Most High is going to be revealed on the seat of judgment. Compassion will pass away. There won't be no more compassion, right? Patience shall be withdrawn. There won't be no more patience. Okay, and only judgment shall remain. Truth shall stand, and faithfulness shall go. See, his compassion, he's long suffering right now. He's waiting for everybody to get it together. Right, Israel, he's waiting on you to get it together, right? But there's going to come a time when he's going to say, okay, that's it. The time is up. I waited long enough. Time's up. Okay, so now compassion is gone. There's no more love. I'm not waiting anymore, right? I've waited long enough. Now it's time for judgment. No more patience. Patience is gone. No love, no patience is gone. Now judgment is time to happen. Now when judgment happens, now listen, when you get in trouble with your daddy, okay, you've been a child before. Some of us are parents, right? You've been a child, or you got children around you, right? When your patience is up and your compassion is up, now it's time for the spanking, right? Ain't no love there. It ain't time for love. I'm doing it because of love, but it ain't time for love. Love will stop you from getting a spanking. Okay, so but this is not what's going on right here. There's no compassion. Compassion is done away with now. You had long enough for me to give you this break, right? I gave you enough rope, you hung yourself, right? I had enough patience to wait on you to get it right. Now it's time for judgment. This is where we are right here, right? It's a cut off, right? You have no, and as we get further down into this, you'll see there's no compassion. Right, because he didn't give you enough time, right? Only truth shall stand, and faithfulness shall grow strong. Now we're faithful to the fact that this is where judgment drops. And recompense shall follow, and reward shall be manifested. Righteous deeds shall awake, and unrighteous deeds shall not sleep. Okay? Then the pit of torment shall appear, and opposite shall be the place of rest, and the furnace of hell shall be disclosed. You're going to find out where that is now, and opposite it is going to be the paradise of delight. The Most High will say to the nations. Now, we talked about nations. Who is nations, right? Nations is the ethnos, where we get our word ethnics from, right? We're talking about tribes of people. We're talking about people, okay? We're not talking about kings, dominions, or countries. We're talking about nations, right? The Indian nation, the Japanese, and we're talking about tribes of people, okay, is what we say, the nations that have been raised from the dead. Look now and understand whom you have denied and whom you have not served, whose commandments you have despised. So everybody who's on the earth, everybody get woke up. Now it's time to come and stand before the Father. You get sent to the principal's office. Everybody get to come stand before the Father. Now everybody is woke. Since we all woke, now we all standing here, and now everybody gets to marvel and look at, look, there's paradise over there. Ooh, look, there's hell over there. Look, there's a lake of fire. Everybody gets to look and see what's there. This is what he's saying right here. Here's this, get ready to be judgment now. It's about to be judgment now. So look now and understand whom you have denied. You see that's the Messiah. Did you accept him or did you deny him? He said, if you denied me before men, I'll deny you before the Father. Look whom you've denied, whom you have not served, whose commandments you have despised. Aren't we supposed to keep the law and the commandments? Wait a minute. This judgment day. It's judgment day. Ain't no law. Who said it? Somebody said the law was done away with, right? But on judgment day, it says that you're supposed to keep the commandments, right? What is a commandment? Keep the law. One of the commandments is keeping the law. So you've done away with all of that madness, and here you are on judgment day, and you're about to be judged because you've done away with his commandments and his law and his statutes. You did that. He didn't do it. You're going to be standing here. He's telling Ezra. He's telling Ezra what's about to go down. And Ezra's like having this moment with the angel. He's like, woo, I'm having this moment. Look on this side and on that. Here are delight and rest. And there are fire and torments. Look on this side and over there. Look, here is delight and rest, and over there is fire and torments. Which way are you going, right? He says, thus he will speak to them on the day of judgment, a day that has no sun or moon or stars or cloud or thunder or lightning or wind or water or darkness or evening or morning or summer or spring or heat or winter or frost or cold or hail or rain or dew or noon or night or dawn or shining or bright or light, but only the splendor of the glory of the Most High, by which all shall see what has been determined for them. You get it? So all this stuff that we have down here in the physical realm, none of that's going to be there. None of it. None of it's going to be there. You're not going to have any of this earthly stuff. None of it is going to be there for you to enjoy. All you're going to be able to see on this side is pleasure, and over there, pain. Over here, life. Over there, death. That's all you're going to see. Because it's judgment day, baby. Okay? That's where we are now, right? So look, he said, for it will last about a week of years. Hold up, a week of years? What's a week of years? 1 year is a day. 2 years is 2 days. Till we get all the way up to 7 years, that's a week, okay, of years. And this is what you get. See, 7 is a perfect number. 7 is a spiritual completeness. 7. And when we're going to get here, we're going to see some things about that 7. Okay? Now listen. This is my judgment and its prescribed order. And to you alone have I shown these things, Ezra. These are my judgments, and it's my prescribed order. And to you alone have I shown these things. Who answered? Ezra did. He said, I answered and said, O sovereign Lord, I said then and I say now, blessed are those who are alive and keep thy commandments. Okay. Did you hear what Ezra said? Ezra said, blessed are those who are alive and keep thy commandments. You want to know why? Because you can't keep them when you're dead. So that means that you need to be following the law and the commandments now. You need to get with the Torah now. Get with the program, right? Check yourself before you wreck yourself. However you want to say it, that's where we are right here. Okay? Check it out. But what of those for whom I prayed? Ezra like, well, I prayed for some folk. What about them? Right? For who among the living is there that has not sinned? Or who among men that has not transgressed thy covenant? He's like, well, wait a minute now. What about for the people I pray? Because there ain't nobody who's alive that hasn't sinned. And there's not anyone who hasn't transgressed the covenant. And now I see that the world will come to bring delight for a few and torments for many. For an evil heart has grown up in us, which has alienated us from God, and who has brought us into corruption and the ways of death, and have shown us the paths of perdition, and removed us far from life. And that not just a few of us, but almost all who've been created. He's like, so wait a minute now. Everybody who's passed through here so far has sinned. And we've grown up like this, and we're alienated from the Father, and we've been taught this madness, and we're in the corruption and the ways of death and paths of perdition. And this is removing us far from life or everlasting life. And not just a few of us, but man, everybody, right? And then he answered and said to me, listen to me, Ezra. I love how the Father deals with us, Ezra. He does me the same way. Listen, when I first found out about the name of Jesus, I lost my mind. I'm like, what do you mean? Who I've been praying to all these years? What are you talking about? Ain't no Jesus. And I had lost my mind. And I'm telling you, I had said years ago, I told my mother, my mother and I were going back and forth. She was a practicing Buddhist at the time. Said, if I ever find out there ain't no Jesus, I ain't going to change my way I'm living. I'm still living this way, right? But then when I found out that there was no Jesus, I lost my mind, okay? Because I found out that the Roman Catholic, see now, I'm not going to say that there is not a Yeshua Messiah. I am not saying that Yahushua does not exist. The person on the pages does exist. But the one that they gave us When they handed us a book and said, look, here's your God now, that one in there, the Caesar Borgia looking dude, the little skinny, scrawny, blue-eyed, brown hair with the sometimes he got a beard, sometimes he don't, hanging from a cross. That dude, that guy never existed. He never existed. That one never, ever, ever existed. But the ones on the scripture pages, the ones on the pages of my book, that he did. That guy lived. He lived in history. Historicity bears him out. He walked this planet. But the one that the Roman Catholic Church tells you is that dude never lived. That dude never lived. They gave you another God. Okay? When thou shalt have no other gods before me, they gave you one. Right? You worship another God of wood and stone. He's hanging on a wooden cross, right? That guy never lived. Okay, so it took the Father a minute to get my head together because I was losing my mind. He was like, don't you think I'm smart enough to know who you was praying to? Who do you think was answering your prayers all these years? I know you wasn't praying to the Antichrist. I know you wasn't praying to Hasatan. Did you think I'm smarter than that? I know who you were praying to. I know you're talking to me. I know that English is the only language that you speak, and I know you don't know his name, but now that you do, willful sin is loss of sacrifice, right? When you know better, you do better, right? So I use the term Jesus for those who don't know, because even the demons know that name. And when you speaking it, they know who you're talking to. They know when you're talking to him, they know when you're talking about him, and they know when you're not, when you're using that name. Because some people just use it frivolously, and they know when you're not talking about him, and then it has no power. Then it has no power. But they know when you're talking about him, and even if you use that name in English, because that's the language that you speak, they know when you use that name, there's some power behind that name, and they run from it. So don't flip out, if you don't hear me using the term Jesus all the time. Yahweh, that's his name, because he's Hebrew. The letter J didn't come into existence until 1630. There was no letter J. I've shown this to you in the 1611 Bible. Okay, but that's not why we're here. He said, listen to me, Ezra, and I will instruct you and will admonish you yet again. So Ezra, calm down. Let me show you something. Okay. For this reason, the Most High has made not one world, but two. Here's the reason why you have two worlds, Ezra. Okay, see, on this side, we're on this side of the world. And to get to that one, we got to pass through this little arduous thing. We got to, you got fire on this side, water on that side, but that's your goal over there. You got to go through here to get there. Okay? So listen, whereas you have said that the righteous are not many but few, while the ungodly abound, hear the explanation for this. If you have just a few precious stones, will you add to them lead and clay, Ezra? If you got some diamonds and some barrels, right? You're gonna pour clay and lead on top of them and blend them all together? No, you're not. So I said, Lord, how could that be? And he said, not only that, but ask the earth, and she will tell you. Defer to her, and she'll declare to it. Say to her, you produce gold and silver and brass and iron and lead and clay, but silver is more abundant than gold, and brass than silver, and iron than brass, and lead than iron, and clay than lead. Judge therefore which things are precious and desirable, those that are abundant and those that are rare. I said, O sovereign Lord, what is plentiful is of less worth, for what is more rare is more precious. And he answered and said, weigh within thyself what you have thought, for he who has what is hard to get rejoices more than he who has what is plentiful. So also will be the judgment which I have promised, for I will rejoice over the few who shall be saved, because it is they who made my glory to prevail now, and through them my name has now been honored. I will not grieve over the multitude of those who perish, for it is they who are like a mist, and are similar to a flame and smoke. They are set on fire and burn hotly and are extinguished. Did you hear what I said? Okay, so people talking about for God so loved the world that whosoever, right? That no, because this is about Israel. This is not about anybody else. He says, I will not grieve over the multitude of those who will perish. He's not going to grieve over them. They are now like a mist, okay? Because there's a ton of people walking around here thinking that the Jesus that they've been given is the one. Okay. And for those of you who were a part of that system that took our scriptures and rewrote them and handed them back to us and put a different face on the Messiah in order to keep a certain people oppressed, so that you could have, so when we would look at it, we would be like, oh, that must be what God looks like. That means that master must be closer to God than I am. So then I gotta obey because you know that's what God looked like. That's what God see. But that's wrong. That is wrong. These scriptures are Hebrew scriptures. They're not European. They're not Khazarian. They're not Aramaic. They're Hebrew. Okay. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. I was about to do something, but I gotta stay with this. Okay. But anyway, he said, I'm not gonna grieve over the multitude of those who perish, for it is they who are now like the mist, and similar to a flame and smoke. They are set on fire and burn hotly and are extinguished. I replied, O earth, what have you brought forth? If the mind is made out of the dust like the other created things. For it would have been better if the dust itself had not been born, so that the mind might not have been made out of it. But now the mind grows with us, and therefore we are tormented because we perish and know it. And let the human race lament. But let the beasts of the field be glad. Let all who have been born lament. Let the four-footed beasts of the flocks rejoice. For it is much better with them than it is for us. For they do not look for a judgment, nor do they know of any torment or salvation promised to them after death. What does it profit us that we shall be preserved alive, but cruelly tormented? For all who have been born are involved in iniquities, and are full of sins and burdened with transgressions. For if we were not to come into judgment after death, perhaps it would have been better for us. He answered me and said, when the Most High made the world and Adam and all who came from him, he first prepared the judgment and things that pertain to the judgment. Okay, so remember, don't get it twisted. Remember, way back at the beginning, we saw that Israel came out of Adam. Okay, the world was made for Israel. Israel came out of Adam. Okay, don't forget that. Don't forget that. That's one of the main things here. And now understand from your own words that you have said that the mind grows with us. For this reason, therefore, those who dwell on earth shall be tormented, because they had understanding, they committed iniquity. And though they received the commandments, they did not keep them. And though they obtained the law, they dealt unfaithfully with that what they received. Okay, now look, see, I got to keep going back to this, okay? Look at this. For this reason, therefore, those who dwell on earth shall be tormented, because though they had understanding, they committed iniquity. And though they received the commandments, they did not keep them. They received the commandments, right? And they didn't keep them. And though they obtained the law, which is supposed to be done away with, right? But they obtained the law. They dealt unfaithfully with what they received. So you're supposed to keep the law and the commandments. That's what's being said right here. But you keep saying, churchianity keeps saying that you're not supposed to keep the law, that the law is done away with because Jesus died on the cross, so there ain't no law no more. Well, you know what? You don't keep the law then. And you'll be one of them right here being judged, right? Like he's saying it right here. You're going to be tormented because you didn't keep the commandments and you didn't keep the law. Now, who you going to believe? Who you going to believe? You going to believe Pastor Ray? Deacon Fry? Deacon Boone? Elder Wright? Or you going to believe the Father, the Most High? Who you going to believe? You got to believe somebody. Who you going to believe? All right? So now, 73. What then? What then will they have to say in the judgment? And how will they answer in the last times? What you gonna say to the Father when he asks you why you didn't keep his law and his commandments? What are you gonna say? It's right here. What are you gonna say, and how are you gonna answer when you stand before him in the judgment seat? For how long the time is that the Most High have been patient with those who inhabit the world, and not for their sake, but because of the times which he has foreordained? How long do you think he's going to be patient? It's right there in front of you. 74. How long the time is that the Most High has been patient? How long has he been patient with those who inhabit the world, and not for their sake, but because of the times which he foreordained? And I answered, I said, if I have found favor in thy sight, O Lord, show this also to thy servant, whether after death, as soon as every one of us yields up his soul, we shall be kept in rest until those times come when thou wilt renew the creation, or whether shall we be tormented at once? So he's asking right here. I stumbled over this when I was reading it to my sister, trying to explain it to her, okay? He said, if I found favor in your sight, then tell me, when we die and we yield up to ghosts, are we tormented right then, or do we have to wait? Okay? So he's saying, whether after death, as soon as every one of us yields up his soul, we shall be kept in rest until those times when thou shalt renew the creation, or whether we shall be tormented at once. In other words, am I going to be waiting until you renew the creation, or am I going to be tormented all at once? Okay, as soon as I die, am I going straight to hell, or do I have to wait? This is what happened. See, this is the rich man and Lazarus. Remember, Lazarus died, and he had to go over into glory, sitting with Abraham. Okay, and then the rich man looked up and saw that there was a chasm in between them, and was like, "Hey, man, I'm hot over here. Send Lazarus over here with some water on on his finger." And Abraham was like, "I can't. When you was alive, you had everything you wanted, right? And now Lazarus is over here getting his just desserts." You see, the rich man, even when he woke up on the other side, he was still trying to lord his power like he was somebody over there. He's like, no, you had everything you had when you was in the earth. Lazarus gets his now, right? So he says, so how long? When we die, do we got to wait for a while, or is it going to happen immediately, right? And he answered to me, he says, I'll show you that also. But do not be associated with those who have shown scorn, nor number yourself among those who are tormented. Okay, so don't associate yourself with those who have shown scorn, who look down on the word, right? And don't number yourself with those who are going to be tormented. He says, for you have treasure of works laid up with the Most High. Ezra, you've been doing some things. You got some treasure laid up of works, right? So now we know that they say, faith without works is dead. Okay, so here's your works right here. Faith without works is dead. You can have faith, but you haven't done anything. You had some faith. Who did you teach? Who did you bring the word to? Who did you share it with? I'm gonna tell you today, I was doing my due diligence. Now when I'm at work, I can't break this down like this to different people. But some people see me with my earpiece in my ear, and I'll tell them, hey, this is what I'm listening to. I might take it to the side real quick, and we might chop it up. Okay, hey, look, when I get home, I'll give you the link. Type of thing. So who did you share it with? Who did you share with today? Did you share with anybody today? Today, did you? What about yesterday? Have you shared with anybody this year? Now see, the Father had to deal with me on something. I keep telling you about this individual because I don't do trans anything, and I don't do homo anything. But the Father had to give me. He says, see, you got these girls that you friends with, and you okay with that, but you're not cool with this dude. So, I'm not a respecter of persons, and I'm not going to sit here and let you do that. You got to either you're going to be with all of it, or you can get with none of it. What's happening? He called me on my own stuff. So I said, okay, all right. You right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're right. So I can deal with them, but I can't deal with him. And he's like, well, you can't be sideways like that. You're either going to be with it all, or you're going to be with none of it. So the same way that you deal with them and you talk to them, you need to go talk to him. And I said, you know what? I will. I'll find a time and a place, or you make a time and a place. And when I get that green light, I'm going to hit him with it, because it's like, my thing is like this. I'm all about the love, right? I'm going to live my truth, and truth is power. Okay. But I have a difficult time with a boy who's trying to be a girl. You see, now if you was a boy who just like boys, I have more patience for you because you're a boy who just like boys. These are girls who just like girls. They're not girls trying to be boys. I ran into one of them today, as a matter of fact. They're not girls who are trying to be boys. They're girls who like girls, right? You might look like a boy, but you still like girls. You're a girl, you still like girls. But this is a boy who's doing the Baphomet. See, the Baphomet is the hermaphrodite or the androgynous thing. I still got my junk between my legs, but I want some little breasts too. And I want everybody to know that I identify as a girl. So I want to use the girl's bathroom. I want to walk like a girl. I want to act like a girl. I want to, all of this. But there's no urinals in the girl's bathroom. So that means that when I go, I got to go into a stall, and I might stand up in there, and if I'm up there standing up and I'm emptying my worm, somebody's going to hear the power of my worm. So I got to sit down. Right. So so you still got to hide it. You're not even comfortable having your junk, because you're not going to stand up in there and do the worm into the toilet from 5 feet in the air, because it's going to sound like a dude in there peeing. Right? So you got to sit down so you get the tinkle sound. Right? So even you're not comfortable in your mess. Otherwise, you just go ahead and stand up. And you know that nobody's going to be there's a dude in here. You know they're not going to be comfortable with that. So you got to sit down. Right? So you playing, how you playing? Why you playing? See, and when you look at the Baphomet, you see the Baphomet sitting there doing the as above, so below thing with breastises. So it's the androgynous thing going on. It's the girly man thing going on. So the Father had to deal with me with that on that today. So I'm just saying, okay, that even I, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm far from it. But when we start dropping this word, we got to drop this word on everybody. We can't just be dropping it on just, we got to drop it on everybody. You can't be picking and choosing. You got to drop it on everybody. So he says, for you have treasures laid up with the Most High, but it will not be shown you until the last times. Now concerning death, the teaching is, here's the teaching, because he asked the question, right? He asked the question, how is it going to be? Are we going to give up the soul immediately? What's going to be going down? So he says, so here's the teaching. Okay, when the decisive decree has gone forth from the Most High that a man shall die, as the spirit leaves the body, to return again unto him who gave it, first of all, it adores the glory of the Most High. That means that when you die, you wake up in the full knowledge of everything that was before you came into this world. You remember everything. You look around and you like, oh my God, now listen, all the movies. Remember the Nicolas Cage movie where he played a fallen angel? Remember he was standing on the beach and they were watching the sunset, and he was listening, he was trying to hear the music, because see, every morning all the angels were standing there and they would listen to the morning song, right? He was trying to hear the music. He was trying to admire the glory. See, I remember when Messenger was in the hospital, Messenger was like, I can't see it anymore. I can't look through it. Babies are laying in the crib and they're laughing and cooing and what, because he just got here. He can still see it. We're the ones that teach them how to close the window so they can't see it anymore. Okay? But Elijah's window never closed. Elisha was the one whose window was closed, and Elijah had said, Father, would you just let him see what we see? Because he's freaking out over here, man. You don't understand. And so all of a sudden, his eyes were open, and he saw all the angels standing around, and he was like, whoa, we got an army, man. Look at this. It's loaded up in here, right? But it took Elisha to say, would you show him? Because he's over here flipping out, man. Let him see what we already know is already there. Would you see? Because Elisha's eyes wasn't closed. He knew what was there. Okay? So we're the ones that say, but boy, shut up. That's your imagination. Go sit down. See? And then we teach them how to close the window. Okay? That's what we do. So he said, listen. He said when they pass, so the first thing he see, right? The spirit leaves the body to return to him who gave it. He says the first thing he sees is the glory, right? That's the first thing they see. Okay? He adores the glory of the Most High. It's the first thing he sees. 79. And if it is one of those who have shown scorn and have not kept the way of the Most High, and who has despised his law. Wait a minute, I thought the law was done away with, right? And who have hated those who fear God, and it's not a fear, it's respect. It's one of those who know I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I'm not going to look you in the eye and act like I'm equal with you. I'm not worthy. But this is one of those guys who thinks he's like. About in torments, ever grieving and sad in 7 ways. Why? Because the first thing you see is the glory of the Most High. And then you realize, because you woke up in full perfect knowledge now you realize, I messed up. How? Because the Father told you before you got here how you were supposed to live so you can avoid punishment. Right? We read that back in 21. When you first came into your baby body, without your full beard, when you first came into your baby body, the Father showed you and told you what you were supposed to do in order to avoid the punishments. Before you got here, he told you this, right? But did you listen? No, you didn't listen. Why? Because now here you are getting out of your body and you're like, I done really messed up now because I missed it. How did I miss this? Think about all the people famous people. Think about them. I mean, I can pull a couple of them off the top of my list, but I'm not. But I had one come to mind. When I was listening to this today, this was in my ear before I came home and started reading it. This is in my ear. And I'm saying that I was bending over and I was changing some prices. And when they got to this part and he started talking about it, I almost went straight to my knees because I was on the verge of crying. My daddy just died last December, and that was the first thing that came to my mind. Because my father was one of those who despised his law and hated those who feared God. Okay? My mother is in the other room, and she's a bona fide Mormon, and I'll tell God to his face when I see him. She's one of the, and I don't have that kind of juice. I ain't that bold. I'm not worthy. Okay? But my mama, this is my mama now. I'm gonna speak truth to power. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's no point in lying to you. I'm telling you that, we come together. We got a family, and there's 2 different spirits. Okay? I fear the Most High. I am not afraid of a man. Right? But I am not bold enough to stand up and think that I can whoop the creator of the universe who created my soul. That's asinine. That is idiotic. It's crazy. Right? But there are those out there who think and operate on that level. You just got to know. It's like that. Okay, so check this out. Such spirits, because they're not physical entities. They're not in bodies. They're spirits inhabiting this body. You're looking out these windows like you're looking at the windshield of a car, right? You just think that you're all hooked up in here, but you're not. You wear this thing like a glove. You're separate from this. You're going to leave this, and this chunk of meat's going to stay here, and it's going to rot. And you're going to go, and you're going to wake up, and you're going to find out that you're a spirit. And those spirits do not enter into habitations, but they shall immediately wander about in torments, ever grieving and sad in 7 ways. Now let's look at this. The first way, because they have scorned the law of the Most High. Oh, hold up. I thought you said the law was done away with. Isn't that what you've been running around here telling everybody? That you don't have to live by the law? If you live by the law, then you have to be judged by all the law. Oh, but you just says right here, you scorned the law of the Most High. That's why you're going to be running around grieving and sad in 7 ways and in torments, because you scorned the law of the Most High. That's what he told Ezra. That's what he's telling him right here. The second way, because they cannot now make a good repentance that they may live, because you're dead now. And because you're dead, physically dead, there's no way for you to fix this, because you were supposed to fix it when you was here in this body. You were supposed to do it now while you're here in this body. And now that your butt is dead, there's nothing you can do. Not a thing. You're hanging out there, ass to the wind. Done. D-O-N. Goose cooked. It's fini, baby. He says right here, you've despised the law. And for most of you, it's too late already. Why? Because you don't even know what the law is. You don't even know what the commandments are. You don't even know. See, if you even tried It ain't enough. It's not enough to say, I trust Jesus. Oh, Heavenly Father. It's not enough. It's not enough. It says so right there. You despise his commandments and his law. For some of you, it's way too late trying to get it together. You got one foot on a banana peel and the other one in the grave, and you're struggling around trying to figure it out, and you could die in a moment, in a heartbeat, and you're lost. You're lost because you wouldn't listen. And it's too late. And some of you be like, oh well, it's too late now. I just deal with it when I get there. Listen, you're not going to be able to deal with it. You know why? Because this says right here that you cannot now make good repentance that you may live. Live what? To be immortal. That you can live with Messiah, Hamashiach. It's too late. You've already, your life is past, right? The third way, they shall see the reward laid up for those who trusted the covenants of the Most High. Because you're gonna be so hurt because you see, oh man, I missed it. Look at what they're gonna get. Man, how did I miss that? That's the third way. The fourth way, they shall consider the torment laid up for themselves in the last. Oh my God, man, what I got coming? See, you got a whooping coming, and that's what you see. That's that torment that's laid up for you in the last days, because judgment hasn't happened yet. See, this is just you dying. We already talked about judgment. When there will be no moon, no stars, no sun, no winter, no summer, and the throne comes out, and it's just the Father standing there, and everybody's like standing there waiting, like, uh-oh, here it comes. This is it. This is it. This is what they told me about. This is it. See? So you know what's going to happen for you when judgment hits. That's the fourth way. In the last days. The fifth way, they shall see how the habitations of the others are guarded by angels in profound quiet. Look, that means that Lazarus went into Abraham's bosom and he had peace. And his habitation, there was an angel standing there to make sure that they had peace. That there was nothing going to come over there and mess with them. Not at all, because they have peace. They trusted in the Most High. They trusted in the laws and the commandments that the Most High gave them, and they got peace. They got an angel standing there guarding them to make sure they have profound quiet. Okay? The sixth way is they shall see how some of them will pass over into torments. They're going to be, you're going to be watching people going over into their torments. Because it says that they're going to immediately wander about in torments. That's what it says in 80. Go back to 80 and look. Such spirits shall not enter habitations, but they shall immediately wander about in torments. Immediately. Anybody remember the movie Ghost? Remember Ghost? Dude died and the thing came up out the ground and snatched him, and he was fighting it all the way down. But he went, didn't he? He couldn't fight it. We went straight to torments. Okay? Ever grieving and sad. Right? That's the sixth way. The seventh way, which is worse than all the ways that have been mentioned, because they shall utterly waste away in confusion and be consumed with shame, and shall wither with fear at seeing the glory of the Most High, before whom they sinned while they were alive, and before whom they are to be judged in the last times. Now you are fearing. See, a minute ago you wasn't scared. Remember? You said that I had to deal with it. I can handle it. But now you're scared, because now you know. See, because when you're in this physical body, you act like you King Kong. You can do whatever you want to do. But when you get over in that spiritual realm, you're going to realize that you are only that big in a universe, in a realm that is that big, with a creator in it who's looking at you, and you're only that big. He could sneeze and you don't even exist anymore. He don't have to think about it and you don't exist anymore. That much of a thought and you don't exist anymore, because it only took that much of a thought to bring you into existence. You understand what I'm saying? He's that powerful and you're not. But you act like you are here in this earth, but you're not. He don't even have to sneeze. And you're gone. You don't even get a chew out, and you're gone. If he wanted to, you're gone, chew, you're back. You're gone, chew, you're back. If he wanted to, you see what I'm saying? He could do whatever he want to do. You're nothing. You're nothing. Okay. 88. Now this is the order of those who have kept the ways of the Most High, when they shall be separated from their mortal body. Okay? During the time that they lived in it, they laboriously served the Most High and withstood danger every hour, that they might keep the law of the lawgiver perfectly. Wait a minute. Didn't you say there was no law? Do we have to keep the law? This is how they get their reward, because they kept the law of the lawgiver. Okay? Laboriously. Right? They withstood danger. You know, there's going to come, see, we've been living in peace, but there's going to come a time, you know, when we're going to have to say yay or nay and give it up. You know, there's going to come a time, we've been living in peace, you know, but there's been those times throughout history where the believers were persecuted, right? Right now, Israel is living in its captivity, right? And we live in danger every day. We could be gunned down. Somebody could kick in my door right now and come in here and gun me down. Just because I'm Israel. And they'll feel good about it. Another one bites the dust. We killed another one. You know how they used to do. We killed another one. Timberland. I showed you Timberland. Oh, man. I showed you Timberland. Let me see. I showed you guys Timberland last week. It was it last week or just a couple days ago? I forget when I did it. But I showed you Timberland. And it made me kind of mad when I found this out. I didn't know at all. Had me hot when I saw it. When I saw this, I didn't know that this was Timberland's motto was the hanging tree. Timberland's motto is the hanging. Their logo is the hanging tree, right? And they use that as their logo, right? Do we not have police running around here just gunning us down in the streets? It's quieted down in the last few months, but trust me, somebody somewhere died tonight at the hands of a white officer. Trust that. Believe that. And it's not because of racism, right? Racism is the reason that is used. Racism is the excuse that is used when this comes. It's racism that's the excuse. But it's not, that's not what it is. It's not, it's because of Israel. We are in the land of our captivity. This is what our oppressors do to us. That's the spiritual significance of it. It has nothing to do with racism. That's what society calls it. Society says, oh, it's racism. No, it's not. It's Israel. It's because of who you are. You see, and all over the world, they are afraid of you, Israel, because they know that when we come back together as a community and we start calling on the Most High, that he is going to answer for his people. And they do not want Egypt to occur. Right? And we're told to just cool it and be good and let him fight our battles, because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. We're supposed to be praying, folk. And when we do, he does things. He moves. Right? So the only way to beat these curses is to get back to the Father doing the laws and the commandments. That's the only way to beat this thing. That's how it's supposed to occur. That's how it's supposed to go down. And that's what we're supposed to do. And when we start doing that, we're going to be okay. All right? So check it out. Now, let me see. So that was the first order. First of all, they see the great joy of him who receives them, and for they shall have rest in 7 orders. Okay? So this is the teaching that's concerned to them. First of all, they shall see with great joy the glory of him who receives them. Right? They're going to see. Oh, look, there's the Father. Oh, see, there he is. Look, for they shall have rest in 7 orders. Now, here's their 7 orders. Check it out. The first order, because they have striven with great effort to overcome the evil thought which was formed in them. Did you hear that? They overcame the evil thought which was formed in them, that it might not lead them astray from life and into death. What's the evil thought? What's the evil thought? The evil thought is that there ain't no God. You got to keep no law. You got to keep no commandments. You see what's happening here? It's them telling you that you don't have to keep the law and the commandments that got your butt in trouble, because you listened to it. You overcame that evil thought. and you realize that you need to keep the law and the commandments. And see, my sister was of that opinion, and she still might be. But I went over this with her. I read this to her, and I said, "Baby, you go read it for yourself. You know, I'm gonna drop it in your mailbox. I'm gonna give you the video, and I'm gonna give you this pseudepigraphica, and you can read it for yourself. You can go pull up Ezra in your Bible, and you can read. Most of this is in your Bible, but we getting down to a spot. I'm gonna show you something about that. They say so they overcame the evil thought that was formed in them, that it might not lead them astray from life and into death. The second order, because they see the perplexity in which the souls of the ungodly wander, and the punishment that awaits them. Right? They see how confused that soul is. Like, what happened? How did I do? Oh my God, why did I do this? What happened? It's too late though. You're already dead. You can't do nothing about it. So they see the perplexity of the souls of the ungodly and how they wander around. You know, and they're wandering. So we haven't got to that part yet. They get okay. So and the punishment that awaits them. Right. The third order is that they see the witness which he who formed them bears concerning them, that while they were alive, they kept the law which was given them in trust. Okay. So they see the witness. See, I got you. Don't worry about it. See, in other words, we got an angel in front of you protecting you. See, these other guys are wandering around unprotected. Rich man woke up on the other side unprotected. You see, he was by himself. Lazarus woke up on the other side with Abraham. And trust, there was an angel there to protect them. Okay? And my brother got a teaching on this, it was completely clear to me when I read this. His teaching it fit right in here like a glove. It's like cogs in a wheel. It's like I'm reading this, his teaching was that, and it was like, oh, that makes sense now. Yeah, see, there's an angel there to protect you, because without that protection, these cats are gonna get manhandled in a major way. They're gonna get manhandled or spirit handled. However, they're gonna get handled in a major way because they have no protection, right? And there's a punishment that awaits them. Right? Not only do they get beat up, but they get punished as well, right? So listen, the third order is they see the witness on which he who formed them bears concerning them, that while they were alive, they kept the law which was given to them in trust. The fourth order, they understand the rest which they now enjoy. They understand, oh, okay, I get it now. Being gathered into their chambers and guarded by angels in profound quiet, and the glory which awaits them in the last days. I'm telling you, he was sitting there with Abraham. See, you sitting in their chambers. Their chambers, they have a place that's prepared. In my Father's house there's many mansions. For I go to prepare a place for you. And in my Father's house there's many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. You're sitting in your chamber now. What's your chamber? Your chamber's like your bedroom. Your chamber's like your pad, like your house. You're sitting in your chamber. So Lazarus ended up over there hanging out with Abraham, and they had protection about them. Nobody was going to come over there bothering them because they was protected. They had angels guarding them to make sure that they're quiet, because this is their quiet time, to make sure that their quiet stays quiet. Come over here if you want to and get cut up. No, their quiet stays quiet, okay? And the glory which awaits them in the last days. The fifth order, they rejoice that they have now escaped what is corruptible. So they rejoice that we're not in the flesh anymore, and shall inherit what is to come. And besides, they see the straits. Now see, straits. What is S-T-R-A-I-T-S? That is not S-T-R-A-I-G-H-T. It's completely different straight. A-I-G-H-T is from point A to point B. Okay, S-T-R-A-I-T is arduous and difficult. Two different straits. You heard of the Straits of Magellan? Okay, if Magellan didn't know how to navigate those rivers, he would have sank his ship because there was rocks all out there. It's the Straits of Magellan, the Straits of Gibraltar. You got to know how to navigate those channels, otherwise you're going to sink your ship. There's rocks under the water. That's what a strait is. Look it up. A-I-G-H-T is from point A to point B. A straight line. That's a strait. Two different kinds of straits. This strait is talking about difficult and arduous. Difficult, straight, like fire on one side, deep water on the other, thin little road to go through. That's difficult to walk. That's arduous. Painful because the fire is so hot. Dangerous because the water is so deep. But when you make it to the other side, you get your reward. Right? Besides, they see the straits and the toil from which they have been delivered. This life, they've been delivered from this life. And when it is shown to them how they're delivered, and the spacious liberty which they are to receive and enjoy in immortality. Right? So we're going to live forever. We're going to get this, we're going to have this forever, but we had to go through this difficult part in order to get this. The sixth order, when it is shown to them how their face is to shine like the sun. They're going to be looking just like the Father, right? Because it says, when we see him, we shall be as he is. We'll be changed and we'll see him. And there ain't going to be no fly away. Ain't no rapture. Has anybody flown away here yet? As a matter of fact, anybody see a rapture here yet? There's no rapture occurred here. Because there is no rapture. There's no such thing. Okay? That's another lie they gave you. But there's no rapture. Ain't no fly away. Right? Listen. And how they are to be made like the light of the stars, being incorruptible from then on. Okay? The seventh order, which is greater than all that have been mentioned, because they shall rejoice with boldness, and shall be confident without confusion, and shall be glad without fear, for they hasten to behold the face of him whom they served in life, and from whom they are to receive their reward and be glorified. They're going to be able to look the Father right in the eyes. Because when we see him, we will be as he is. So you'll be able to look right about. See, because regular man can't look upon him. Regular flesh can't look upon him. The sinful man cannot even, you cannot look at him. Okay, you can't. So they're going to be looking just like him, because they're going to have faces that shine like the sun. And that's exactly what the scripture says he looks like. His glory is so bright you can't look upon it, but they'll be able to look upon it. Why? Because they made it there to be able to do so. Okay, now look, 99. This is the order of the souls of the righteous, as henceforth is announced, and as aforesaid are the ways of the torment of those which would not give heed shall suffer thereafter. Okay, so this is what's going to be for those who made it, and this is what's going to be for those who didn't. That's what 99 says. 100, and I answered and said, will time therefore be given to the souls after they've been separated from their bodies to see what you have described to me? Will they have time after they get out of their bodies to see this thing? And he said, they shall have freedom for 7 days, so that during the 7 days they may see the things of which you have been told, and afterwards they shall be gathered into their habitations. And that's why I almost cried, because I thought about my father. My sister said that after my dad died, he came to see her. I've had people who died who came to see me. And you only get 7 days. And then they come and they take you. See, in the movie Ghost, they took you right away. Dude got hit on his bicycle, smack, boom, they came right up out the ground, and they took him. Okay? But this says they get 7 days. They get 7 days to stroll around and see these things. So each way that they see, way 1, way 2, way 3, way 4, that might be a day. So they get 7 days. And I was like, wow, my dad missed it. I'm like, wow, my mom is going to miss it. See, here's the thing. You know, I can't say this to my mother. Mama, don't preach to me. I'm not preaching to you, mama. I'm trying to give you information. I don't need you to give me information. Okay, all right. See, because I had one of them, I can't tell her anything. I'm your son. I'm not supposed to know more than you. And we have a lot, and it's a shame. We have a lot of people out there like that. See? But those same people will say, from the mouth of babes, anybody else out in the world can say something, but I can't. You don't want to hear it from me. See, because I won't BS you. I'm not going to play your BS card. I'm going to call you on it. I'm going to speak truth to power. I'm going to tell you about all the dirty things you've ever done to us. I'm going to tell you about, but at the same time, I'm going to be like, hey, look, but you can be forgiven of all of that. The mere fact that I'm even with you now and I shouldn't be, that you're here with me, that I should even care about you, right? And that I fight on your behalf, but you think I'm fighting against you. I fight the county to get you help. I fight your doctors to get you help. But you think I'm doing it because I'm against you. I'm trying to get you help for your Alzheimer's, your dementia. You won't let me clean your room. So somebody's got to give you help. But you think I'm not. I'm trying to help you. But you see, you would rather live in squalor than let your son help you. See, that's a spirit there. That's a demon, because I got this going on. And this is what I do every day when I come home. This is all I do. I've been ever since I was 19 years old, and this has been a problem between my mother and I. We used to live at 666 West 66th Street. We used to live at 666 West 66th Street in Los Angeles. Well, my mother was at the time she was a practicing Buddhist, and I was doing this. And I can tell you about the many times that my angels have stopped her demons from attacking me. And she would run into a room, like she'd run up behind me right here, right now, and she would like bounce off a Star Trek force field. Couldn't get to me. Time and time again. Because I keep doing this. And I didn't even know who I was then. I was just reading the word, and I was just trusting the Father. And time again, I've watched him protect me and save my life from my evil, idiotic family and the world at large. Okay? So, listen. They'll have freedom for 7 days, so that during these 7 days they may see the things of which you have been told, and afterwards they shall be gathered into their habitations. Okay? Now, and I answered and I said, if I have found favor in thy sight, show further to me thy servant, whether on the day of judgment the righteous will be able to intercede for the ungodly, or to entreat the Most High for them. Okay, so this is a lot of questions that you guys ask, right? Am I going to be able to pray for my family? If I find, on the day of judgment, can the righteous intercede for them? Can we say, Father, have mercy? Please don't do my mama like that. Father, please have mercy. Fathers for sons, and sons for parents, and brothers for brothers, relatives for their kinsmen, or friends for those who are most dear. On the day, can we pray? Can we say, Father, please have mercy? Is it going to help? And he answered and said, since you have found favor in my sight, I will show you this also. The day of judgment is decisive, and displays to all the seal of truth. Just as now a father does not send his son, or a son his father, or a master his servant, or a friend his dearest friend, or to be ill, or sleep, or eat, or be healed in his stead. So no one shall ever pray for another on that day, neither shall anyone lay a burden on another, for then everyone shall bear his own righteousness and unrighteousness. Okay, so that kills your whole thing right there of praying for because the Mormons got this thing about you can pray for your dead relatives and have them saved. That kills that right there. You don't get it. You're not gonna get it. No, it's because you have to do it. Nobody can do it for you, right? And then he says right here, I answered and says, well, how is it that we find that Abraham prayed for the people of Sodom, and Moses for our fathers who sinned in the desert, and Joshua after him for Israel in the days of Achan, and Samuel in the days of Saul, and David for the plague, and Solomon for those in the sanctuary, and Elijah for those who received the rain, and for those who was dead that he might live, and Hezekiah for the people in the days of Sennacherib, and many others prayed for many. If therefore the righteous have prayed for the ungodly now, when corruption has increased and unrighteousness is multiplied, why will it not be so then as well? If we can pray for, if I can pray for my mama now, then how come I can't do it then? And he answered and said, this present world is not the end. The full glory does not abide in it. Therefore those who were strong prayed for the weak. But the day of judgment will be the end of this age and the beginning of the immortal age to come, in which corruption is passed away. Sinful indulgence has come to an end, unbelief has been cut off, and righteousness has increased, and truth has appeared. Therefore, no one will be able to have mercy on him who has been condemned to judgment, or to harm him who is victorious. I answered and said, this is my first and last word, that it would have been better if the earth had not produced Adam, or else it would have produced him, or else when it had produced him, it had restrained him from sinning. He says, look, You know, all I have to say now is that it would have been better if Adam had never been made from the dirt, because once it did produce him, it had the ability to keep him from sinning. Okay? For what good is it to all that they live in sorrow now and expect punishment after death? O Adam, what have you done? For though it was you who sinned, the fall was not yours alone, but ours also, who are your descendants. What good is it to us if an eternal age has been promised to us, but we have done deeds that bring death? What good is it that an everlasting hope has been promised to us, but we have miserably failed? Or that it is safe and healthful habitations that have been reserved for us, but we live so wickedly? Or that the glory of the Most High will defend those who have led a pure life, but we walk in the most wicked ways? Or that a paradise shall be revealed whose fruit remains unspoiled, in which there's an abundance of healing, but we won't enter it, because we have lived in unseemly places? Or that the faces of those who practice self-control shall shine more than the stars, but our faces shall be blacker than darkness? For while we lived and committed iniquity, we did not even consider that we should suffer after death. And he answered and said, this is the meaning of the contest which every man who is born on earth shall wage. That if he is defeated, he shall suffer what you have said, but if he is victorious, he shall receive what I have said. For this is the way which Moses, while he was alive, spoke to the people, saying, choose for yourself life that you may live. And we read that earlier. Remember? Read that when we first started. We read that earlier and said we was going to get to it, right? Said, but they did not believe him or the prophets after him, or even myself who have spoken to them. See, this is a father speaking through the messenger. He said, look, I had Moses tell him, I had the prophets tell him, and then my son came, me, and then I told them. They didn't believe it. Therefore shall there not be grief at their destruction, so much as joy over those to whom over those to whom salvation is assured. So I'm not going to grieve over. He said that earlier. I'm not going to grieve over the loss. Why would I grieve over them? For what? They had every opportunity to get it right. And now that the end has come, you want me to cry over you? Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno, smoke. All right? That's what's happening. Therefore, there shall not be grief at their destruction, so much as joy over those to whom salvation is assured. We're going to be happy for the ones that make it, and we're not even going to trip on the ones that don't. Okay? I answered and said, I know, O Lord, that the Most High is now called merciful, because he has mercy on those who have not yet come into this world. That's the reason why everything has to wait, because everybody hasn't been born yet. We got to wait for the rest of them to get here. And gracious, because he is gracious to those who turn in repentance to his law, right? He's gracious because he's gracious to those who turn in repentance to his law. So you got to turn to the law. Wait a minute. Y'all keep telling me the law is dead. Why this thing keeps saying you got to go to the law if the law is dead? How can the law be dead if he keeps saying, if you don't have this, you're going to die? So the law can't be dead. You're the one that's dead. You believe the lie. And patience, because he shows patience toward those who have sinned, since they are his own works. And bountiful, because he would rather give than take away. Right? He's bountiful. Right? And abundant in compassion, because he makes his compassions abound more and more to those now living than those who are gone to. And abundant in compassion, because he makes his compassions abound more and more to those now living, and to those who are gone, and to those yet to come. Okay? And if he did not make them abound, the world with those who inhabit it would not have life. Okay? So if he didn't make his patience abound, if he didn't make it more and more, then the world with those who inhabit it would not have life. So there would be no life. Okay, that brings to mind a lyric that I wrote in the song. And he is called giver, because if he did not give out of his goodness, so that those who have committed iniquities might be relieved of them, not 1/10,000th of mankind could have life. Right? And judge, because he did not pardon those who were created by his word and blot out the multitude of their sins. There would probably be left only very few of innumerable multitude. Okay, so if I didn't have the patience, if I didn't wait on them, then I would just blot them out because I didn't have the patience, and there would only be a few left of and see, he said an innumerable multitude, right? And he's a judge, because if he did not pardon those who were created by his word and blot out the multitude of their sins, there would probably be left only very few of the innumerable multitude. So we're talking about a number no man can count, right? So this is why he said there's only going to be a remnant. There's only going to be a remnant. I want to show you something. All right, now I want you to look off to the left, right, real quick. Now see, we get 100, 101, 102, 103, 4, 5, and then we get to 106. And you see 36 and then 106, okay? So what I want to show you is this. Okay, I'm going to show you this. Wait a minute. Wait. Let me do this. I'm going to show you this. Okay, there we go. All right, so we'll look at eSword, okay? Now, you've been reading along on my page with me, right? And we're on the eSword page. I'm reading along. I had to copy all of this in out of the Supergraphica because I couldn't get the Supergraphica page to show up. So I pasted it over here, and I'm glad I did, because once I got it side by side and I saw something, I was like, wait a minute. What the heck have they done? Okay, now check this out. I'm going to show you this. Okay, I want you to see this. Okay. Now, I got to do it on my eSword. Okay, let me do it here. Okay, now, let me do this. Let me bring this down. I'm going to show you this. Now, you see where it says 36106? Okay, let me show you something. When you get down to verse 36 in the eSword, and check this in your own scriptures, okay? Check it in your own scriptures. When you get down to verse, we're going to go 35. Let me go right here. Let me show you. 35 says, and recompense shall follow, and reward shall be manifested. Righteous deeds shall awake, and unrighteous deeds shall not sleep. Okay? And the work shall follow, and the reward shall be shown, and the good deeds shall be of force, and wicked deeds shall bear no rule. 36 says, then said I, Abraham, prayed first for the Sodomites, and Moses for the fathers that sinned in the wilderness. Over here, 36 says, the pit of torment shall appear, and opposite it shall be the place of... Whoa. What happened to Abraham praying? What happened to Abraham praying? Where's Abraham praying? Why? Because that's what you see down here. They cut out everything from 36 to 106, right? So from 36 up here, because this one ends, I want you to see this. This one ends at 70. This goes all the way down to 140. They cut out everything from 36 to 140. And they picked it up. No, they picked up Abraham down. Let me see. They picked up Abraham down here. Abraham got picked up at... Abraham, I saw it a little while ago where Abraham prayed. They picked Abraham up down here, but they cut out everything from 36 to 100 and something. Did I write it down? No, I didn't write it down. I wrote down the fact that they cut it out, but I didn't write down where it got picked up at. But they cut out everything from 36. You can look at this yourself, but you'll see it. 36, they changed 36, because 36 they got Abraham praying, and at 36 is where we begin talking about what happens to you after you leave your body and the punishment. Okay. So 36 they got. Oh, let me see. Abraham prayed for Moses, right? Okay, so at 106, it's at 106. That's what it is. At 106, they got Abraham praying for Moses. That's the real 106, where they actually made it verse 36 over here. Okay, over here in eSword, they made it verse 36, but in the Pseudepigraphica, it's actually 106. So from 30, let's go back here. Let's look over here in Esor. We're going to go from 36 to 106 is what they cut out. And they started at 106. They started at 106 to make your 36. So from the pit of torment, this is where they start talking about all the torment and what happens when there's no sun, no moon. It's talking about here. It's talking about the judgment seat. There's no sun, no moon. What's going to happen? The 7 days you're going to walk around on the planet and all of these things, and you're going to be, in torments because you realize that you missed the mark and you're supposed to keep the law and you didn't keep the law. They cut all of that out. They cut it all out. Okay? I'm showing it to you right here. By the time you get down to verse 106, that's where they start verse 36. They cut it all out. Everything. They cut it all out. Okay? That just goes to show you that you cannot trust these devils. The pen of the scribe lies. Okay? They cut it all out. Go everything I just read to you about what shook my boots about my dad. See, my father died a full-blown warlock. My dad had witchcraft books, and he talked to demons, and he would call them up, and his former wife was into that, and so the woman that he married after my mother and after he got finished messing with my baby sister mama, because it was two different mothers but the same dad. I'm the baby of my family, she's the baby of hers, and the babies is hooked up now. Both us babies, we tight as thick as thieves, she and I. And I always knew she was there. I felt my baby sister. I knew I had a sister. I just had never met her. Okay. And I met her for the first time last December. We met face to face for the first time last December. And we've been as thick as thieves ever since. But we knew about each other for about the last maybe 7 years, where we chopped it up and hung out with each other on Facebook and the whole night. But we never met until my dad died. So, and now we're as thick as thieves. That's my girl. Beautiful. All my sisters are, and her sisters, those my family too. Her brothers, those are my brothers, because my dad raised them. When he didn't get a chance to pour into me, he poured into them, and they were able to tell me some wonderful things about him, things that I never knew because he never did those things with me or for me. But there was still some salty stuff that came down the line, and Dad died a warlock. Dad was into witchcraft and all that. So that's what almost put me on my knees when I heard initially in my ear about them walking around 7 days and being in torments. And I almost fell on my knees and cried for my dad, because I understand how real this is. And everybody tells me I look just like him, but you look at this body, he was on that end of the spectrum, I'm on this end of the spectrum. I'm a believer. I believe in the Most High. I fear the Most High. He did not. And he had the opportunity many, many, many times. He had opportunity. My baby sister talked to him, and she tried to love on him and get him, and he just, no. But you see, here's the thing that got me. That I know that when he crossed over, he woke up in full knowledge. And he woke up with, oh no, what have I done? And that's what broke my heart right there. What have I done? And he's going to be walking around in torments with no protection. And those demons that he was playing footsie with over here, they got him over there. They got him now. And he's got no protection in his chambers. And he's going to get beat up and pounced on and torn up. And then in the end, he's going to get judged. And he's going to see all the glory, but he's going over there. He's going to see everything he could have had, but he's going over there. And he knows it. And he's gonna know it, because you wake up in full knowledge. On the other side, just and it broke my heart. It was like, oh my God, and I immediately started praying. I'm listening. I'm like, Father, please work with me. Do what you need to do with me. I don't really care, whatever it takes. Just create in me the heart and the mind that I need to have, so that I don't walk down that road. Please, teach me more of your commandments. Teach me more of your laws, because I'm trying to learn these laws. I'm trying to learn these commandments, and this is what we was talking about, at least if you're trying, because we're in our captivity. I didn't know anything about this. I could have died long time ago. I could have died so many times. I could have died not knowing this, and I would have been just like them. You could have died so many times not knowing this, and you could have been just like them. So I'm begging you. I'm really begging you. If you don't know the law and the commandments, do not let them twist your mind and tell you that you're not supposed to know them. Learn the law and the commandments. Learn them. You see, because Israel, this world was created for Israel. But when we get to where we're going, some of you are going to come with us. It's not just going to be us. Some of you are going to come with us. You know, you were marked for destruction. You know, I could read some stuff in here. The nations were created for destruction. And a lot of you are going to be destroyed because of what your fathers did to us. But you don't have to be destroyed. You can still come along. If you read what's happening in Revelations, you'll see that in the city, we're in the city with the Most High, but outside the city, there's many nations. You get to hang, but you'll be there for a whole different reason, but you won't be there because of what we're there for. But you be there for a whole different reason. And the scriptures tell you that. I'm not going to go into that right now because I don't want to. That's a whole different teaching. That's a whole different study. But you can make it. The world that God was talking about he loved was Israel. That's the only world he was talking about. He's only chosen one people for himself. But the word continually tells us that you treat people, you are supposed to act like this right here. These laws and these commandments, this is what you're supposed to act like. And if anybody moves into your city and in your surroundings, they're supposed to act like this too. But because if they don't, they got to get out. You can't come in here with your pagan gods. You can't come in here with your wild, weird ways. You can't come in here doing that. You got to live like this and serve our God, or you got to get out. And it's going to be like that when this is all over with. You got to come serving him, or you can't come at all. You can sojourn with Israel. There's a place for everybody to sow, but you got to come serving Israel's God. You cannot come in here any old kind of way you want to. You're not gonna come up in here no Jehovah Witness. You're not gonna come up in here no Baha'i faith. You're not gonna come up in here no Muslim. You're not gonna come, none of that is coming up in here. You're gonna come up here serving the Most High God of Israel, Yahweh, and his son Yahushai. And his promises are to Israel alone. Israel gets the promise. You don't get the promise. See, like, look, when they were in Egypt, this is what I want you to understand. When they were in Egypt, Moses was told to go tell the house of Israel to put the blood over their doorposts so that the firstborn would not die. Israel was not the only one dropping blood over their doorposts. Tons of Egyptians who were not Israel were dropping blood over their doorposts. Why? Because they did not want their firstborn to die. So when Israel came out of Egypt, it wasn't only Israel alone. A lot of those Egyptians came out with them because those people understood the power of the Most High God. So they sojourned with Israel out in the wilderness. Read the story. You will see it was the Egyptians who had Israel murmuring against God. That's what got them in trouble. Because the Egyptians, oh, you brought us out here, Moses, for us to die. And then Israel got right in the, yeah, see, we out here now. We going to die. That's what got them in trouble. Listening to the other people. That's how they got in trouble in the first place. Listening to the other people. That's why they went into captivity. Because they would not think for themselves. They was listening to other people and taking on other people's gods. That's what got us in trouble in the first place. So that's not going to happen ever again. So when we finally get to the Father and we're finally with Yahushai, we're going to be in there with him, by ourselves. You are going to be on the outside. You will not be able to do this to us again. And he's going to get rid of all of us who are hard-headed and stiff and who will not. That's what this is all about. You had to make a choice when you got here. And every soul was told when it came into this earth how to make it to the other side. And if you listened, you listened. If you didn't, well, you just read what's going to happen to you. So I wanted to bring that to you, family. We've been at this for a little while. And I'm telling you, some of the things that the Father brings to me is just amazing. I can't even begin to tell you half the time when I get to realizing what it is that He's putting on the table for me, because my studies end up going in different directions, and I'm just like, man, I can't believe that you even going down that road with me. I mean, this is where you're taking me. This is what you're doing with me. I sometimes it's so amazing. It's just so amazing. I can't believe it half the time. So, family, look at here. I thank you. I love you. I want to just have some peace with you guys real quick. And let's do this. Let's do this before we get out of here. Let me, because I told you I put a compass on the I put a compass on the phone last week. So we know already which way the east is, right? So what we're gonna do right now is gonna face the east. Sorry that my back is to you, but we're gonna face the east, and we're gonna have a little prayer. Okay, and then we're gonna get out of here. And I thank you, Mishpachah. All right, so everybody, join with me in this one. Let me turn around. I want to get myself all wrapped up here. Get my little battery pack. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Father, in the name of Yeshua Messiah, we just come before you right now, Father. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to share this word with my family, my Mishpachah. Thank you, Father. I'm not worthy. I am not worthy to be able to share this, but I thank you for making the platform and making the way for this to be able to happen. And I thank you for giving me this little piece today to be able to share, because I had no idea that all of this was out there like that, and I cannot pray for my father. It is too late, but thank you for sharing that with me, so that we now know, so that I now know, so that I'm able to share and tell other people. And as we go forward into our lives and into our days or into our nights, because I have no idea who's going to see this, what part of the world they're in, into our days and into our nights, I just pray you be the director of our path and the light under our feet, and that you just keep us going in the way you want us to go, and help us to understand your laws, your commandments, your statutes, and help us to stay in your word, because I'm still chasing these moons, Father. And I just thank you in Yeshua's precious name. Amen. Hallelujah. So, Mishpachah, it's all gravy. It's all good. I thank you, and I appreciate you. Trust me, I do. So if you're hanging with me, it's all good. If you're not hanging with me, it's still all good, because we're doing this anyway, right? And I want to thank again my sister, Savvy Pro Clean, out there in Oklahoma, who put the beard oil on me. The baby with the beard. And I want to thank you so much. Again, we want to dedicate this teaching to you, and I just hope that everybody gets a chance to watch it and study along with us. So thank you, family. I really do thank you, and I hope you guys have a blessed evening and a blessed night. You take care of yourself and take care of everybody else that's with you and around you and in part of your families. And make sure you share this word with them, okay? Share the video, ring the bell, so that you see whenever the new posts are coming up. As the Father gives me these videos, as He gives me these teachings, I'm just going to put them in the videos and just bring them out, because that's what He was showing me. Take the information, put it on the jump drive, and get it out to Israel. These are the days and these are the times. So I just thank you again. Thank you. You guys have a great evening. Have a great morning. Have a great life. And we'll see you next time.